My name is Ezra Blackwood, and 6 months ago I thought inheriting my grandmother's 2-acre ranch would finally give me peace after a messy divorce and years of fixing everyone else's problems as a diesel mechanic. But what I didn't know was that the property I now called home held the only shortcut road into Willowbrook Estates, a neighborhood of 47 oversized mansions run like a dictatorship by one woman, Melody Whitmore, a pearl-white Lexus driving HOA president who treats property lines like suggestions and neighbors like subjects, and for 3 years she's been banging on my door at sunrise, filing fake complaints about my trucks, vandalizing my equipment, and demanding I keep my gate unlocked for her residents' convenience. But here's the twist. While she was busy trying to bury me in legal threats, I dug through Grandma's old papers and county records and discovered that the road they'd been using for 40 years cuts 37 feet across my land with no recorded easement, meaning they've been trespassing since day one. And when I called the surveyor and watched the GPS markers beep across my driveway, Melody's face turned crimson because she knew she was losing control, but she didn't stop. She rallied neighbors, collected signatures, and even hired lawyers who mailed me thick cream-colored threats demanding 50 grand or a permanent right-of-way, but my attorney Sarah Martinez saw right through it, called it a slap suit, and filed a quiet title action that not only protected my boundary forever but also exposed the original developer's fraud. Back in 1985, they lied on their permit applications, promising to build roads inside HOA property and instead bulldozing through Grandma's land, which means Willowbrook has been violating county codes for 4 decades. And when this truth hit Facebook, the cracks spread fast. Neighbors like Dorothy Chen and Marcus Reed admitted Melody had terrorized them with petty fines over Christmas lights and mailbox colors. The HOA meeting collapsed into shouting and walkouts, and suddenly the woman who once ruled with clipboards and threats was standing alone. But I wasn't done. I timed the gate to close exactly during rush hour, sipping coffee on my porch while BMWs and Mercedes executed humiliating 3-point turns, and while a few families offered me cash bribes for private access. I refused because turning this into a business would weaken my legal stance, and word spread that I wasn't extorting anyone, I was standing on principle, which flipped the narrative and won me allies faster than any lawsuit could, and then came the final straw. Melody filed a false police report claiming I threatened her with weapons, but my security footage showed the truth. Me 30 feet away, calmly drinking coffee while she screamed at a locked gate, and even Officer Pete Williams, who'd known my family for 20 years, shook his head at her lies, and when bolt cutters appeared at 3 a.m, my new electronic lock with phone alerts caught every move, proof that someone desperate was crossing the line from nuisance to crime, and at that point, the HOA's own members revolted, refusing to pay assessments, demanding negotiations with me directly, and realizing that their president's war was nothing more than personal obsession. And here's the bigger picture. By defending a gate, I uncovered decades of fraud, millions in potential violations, and a community finally willing to stand up to the bully in their midst. And the lesson I learned is simple. Never roll over when you're right. Document everything. Use the law as your shield, and don't mistake convenience for entitlement, because property rights are the backbone of freedom. And sometimes the only way to win against people like Melody is not by shouting louder, but by standing unshaken, waiting with your coffee, and letting the truth do the heavy lifting. So tell me, what would you do if someone tried to steal your land? And where are you watching from? Because this story isn't just about me. It's about anyone who's ever had to fight for what's theirs.